I think they're waiting for our confirmation.
Yes.
And we are ready to go.
So we are going to be hopping straight in to Museum 2, 80 laps. Um, I believe Jeromu is going to stay on that Hummer and Tova on the Cougar. We'll have to see how they do. Um, doesn't matter too much, of course, but I do love to see the car, the car variety. And as we mentioned it, the two car dissenters, Tova and Jeromu, are starting in the back, and away we go.
Yeah, Jeromu likes that Hamakar. He uses it a lot, and someone is already getting crashed out into that
Got it.
wall. Oh no, but it's not that far behind, so it's not the end of the world for him. But and it's a long race. Uh, in the early stages, we'll be talking about this a lot. How there's a lot left, but we are getting repetitive because there is a lot left. And it's an important factor in this race. Tom Dom crashing on the shortcut, I believe, and falling into the grasp of Tova, who also had a crash. The two outlying cars are near the back of the field at the moment. And
Meanwhile, near the front, Zyno actually had a wreck early on. He was seeming to make a mistake, or to make an escape rather. But it did make a mistake on that wall ride section, spun out, or it might have been the doorway to the wall ride. But they are going to hit that shortcut again, rather avoid it. William going to wreck on the no shortcut path. Many people not taking that shortcut, and that is going to be a window of opportunity for anyone who has practiced this track and is feeling confident on the shortcut.
William with a big crash. I was trying to look behind from his camera because he had like 3 cars ahead of him, 3 cars behind, and it crashed like that. That was a quite interesting angle for that. And Flo, Olmo, and someone else, Matty, are together. Flo with a big crash, losing 3 places. Getting passed by William, Rodik, and Tom Dom. And now he'll be falling behind. And let's take a look at the lead, which is still owned by Zyno, and now by 40 meters.
Yeah.
So he's running strong.
It's a pretty sizable margin. We do have a battle for second to fifth, basically. All of those cars pretty tightly grouped. It is interesting to see the differences in Division 1 and 3. Something to keep in mind is a lot of the Division 1 racers have been racing on stock tracks for many years, and they put that on full display. Of course, the shortcut did still pose a major threat to them, but for the rest, it was pretty much picture perfect. Now here, it's not necessarily the case. We see people taking different lines. We see people messing up at a range of spots. So it'll be really interesting to see who's able to nail this track by, say, the end 40 laps.
Yeah, and if we're speaking of who's gonna be able to make it and who won't that long, I think experience is gonna come into come into play here. And if there's one person who has claimed that they were rusty because they haven't played in like a month, is Riles. But Riles is one of the players who has participated in quite a few endurances out of this field. And in fact, he might have attended the most because I don't think any of these players are generally regulars on those. Maybe I've seen Flo a few times, maybe Zyno a few times. But Riles is the one I kind of associate with sometimes joining, maybe spectating those events. And he is running second at the moment. So it does seem like he's doing decent.
He has really done a great job at pulling away from that group of 4 or so cars that was tightly packed, and now he's got a nice 20-meter buffer zone from the next car. In the meantime, Flo, pretty far ways back in 7th. Our boy Tom Dom out in 8th. William Adama, who has won a session, in 9th. And the number of players who has won a session is actually pretty low. Jeromu has won a ton of these. Jeromu currently in 10th. So this Museum 2 track has definitely switched up the field a bit.
Yeah, and what's also interesting to see is the best lap at around this point in Division 1 was 34.67. Here they are having 35 of the same temps. Oh, and Olmo with a crash in the meantime. Oh, sorry for that tabbing. But he will be falling behind Kubaizush now. And yeah, there's about 1 second between this field and Division 1 on pure pace.
Yeah, quite impressive for the Division 1 racers. And you actually were right. We don't see much wall riding. Now, we did have some people, we do have some people wall riding, but it seems like the people who aren't are not willing to try it. I don't know. For me personally, I learned about the wall ride through an endurance, as so I started doing it then. Maybe they just want to stick with their line. In the meantime, Inigo also doing quite well for himself, out in 3rd place. Has been doing pretty good these recent weeks, and is currently got a podium, so feeling good for him. Kabaisus and Olmo battling for 4th, 5th.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure how some of these players have performed. They were in the midfield, and I guess they haven't really had exceptional performances because, like, the top 3 has mainly been dominated by about 3 different players, and there's not much spotlight for the others, which I will say is a bit of a shame, but it's also hard to balance this.
Yeah.
In a broadcast, Kubaizush with the crash now, Olmo going past.
And I would like to bring to attention that Tom Dom is taking a shortcut. At least he did on that lap, and he passed up William with it. So I've got my eyes locked on Tom Dom for the moment. I'm really interested to see if he takes that shortcut once again. He is going to need to take it, not necessarily, but he is going to want to take it. Now, Kabaisus and Olmo are bumping into each other in the meantime. Tom Dom getting spun around.
Yeah, Tom Dom had a big crash at that shortcut. He made the entrance. You might have seen it on the screen that he didn't, but that's a bit misleading because of the lag.
I hate to cut you off, but Tom Dom has been driving in reverse for a very long time. Now, he did just wreck on the entryway into the dinosaur area, but was really doing an impressive job at that reversing. Is going to have to fight Jeromu for 8th now. Jeromu's moved up 2 positions since we looked at him last. Tom Dom taking a shortcut. Ooh, loses control, falling back more.
Oh, that's gonna be very unfortunate. Oh, that's a lot of time lost in just one lap right there. He's already at 40 seconds. It's gonna be finishing this lap at 45. That's 10 seconds lost in a single lap. I mean, it is a long race. There is a chance to come back, but it's still a huge loss for morale.
Ooh, in the meantime, Olmo has a new opponent in Flo, and Flo has done an incredible job at overtaking him. Now has a 2 meter. Looks like it might have been lagged speaking. No, does still have that 2 meter advantage, but he
Yeah, Flo is ahead, I believe. He's teleporting behind Olmo, and because of the ping. But Olmo seems to be the one without the lag at the moment, and Flo is the one with it, which would mean that Flo is ahead. And now more than a teleporter's distance, if such a phrase exists, which in this game definitely should.
Well, teleporting could be a sign of internet issues, and we'll see if Flo's able to make it all 80 laps. If he does, then he's got a 4th place position as long as he keeps driving as well as he has been. We are only on lap 15 of 80.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Riles does the best lap of the race, which does give you 1 point, so that's something to pay some attention to as well. We didn't discuss this, but it's also somewhat important. 1 point is not that much, but in the end game of the whole season, it could play an important part. Flo keeps lacking, and in the meantime, Kubaizush and William are also but not in a fight at the moment, but they are very much within visibility of range of each other.
Right. Kabaijish and Olmo was the original fight, I do believe, and now it's splintered into Flo and Olmo and Kabaijish and William Adama. William hunting him down. I don't think either of them take the shortcut at all, but Kabaijish losing a lot of speed on the entryway to the shortcut, and even more, William with that nice overtake. Kabaijish losing some speed in the turn. William takes advantage of it.
Well done by him. It's more down to Kobayashi's mistake, but he was able to pounce.
Yes.
So he did have to go by still. And Kobayashi is attacking him now, and he will fail to execute that move and falling further behind. He had a very tight entry line into that turn next to William, and he couldn't get through into that turn. And Olma and Flo seem to be settled in that rhythm right now. They aren't getting any closer to each other any further. They have similar pace.
Sorry.
Their best laps are 3 milliseconds apart, so
we do have a new second place, and it's with unfortunate result of something unfortunate. I believe Riles disconnected, and so now it is Inigo and Flo battling for second. Almo in the rear window in fourth.
oh, and Inigo is also closer to Flo than he has been. I don't know if it's Flo going fast, but
I mean, Zyno is now 300 meters out in first, so I'm willing to bet that Inigo has made some mistakes. It's possible.
I've only ever seen Zyno's distance to Riles. I didn't pay attention to second and third. And Riles was already 100 meters behind as well, but I do think it's Zyno going really fast partially. And I also do know that Riles had a 35 too, so it would have been interesting to see if he could have come back. I did a tab again. And Flo is getting closer and closer to Nico, inch by inch. Corner by corner, a bit of a gain.
Yeah.
And he's now really close. He did that turn much better than Inigo. It could come down to the U-turn, even if they don't do the cut, or they could settle it already here. And Flo is up to second. He's running really nice at the moment.
Some aggressive driving, and it's paid off. Yeah.
First is really far though. So I don't know if they'll have any chance at that. Riles has reappeared on that radar, which is at least of mine, which is unfortunate because that messes up the gaps. I'll see if I can fix it mid-race. But Flo and Inigo are fighting for second. Flo is second. Don't let that lifetiming bug fool you.
Right. But yeah, it continues to be Flo and Inigo. I think when Riles disconnected, it was about 100 meters between Zyno and Riles, and about 90 between Riles and Inigo. So I do think that despite Inigo's early lead, he might have lost a chunk of that. Flo does seem to be a leg above for the moment, but lap 20 of 80, and also something that Inigo can do at this point is he can actually mirror Flo's line, not necessarily mirror, but just copy it rather, and can use being behind Flo to his advantage, because it's pretty clear that Flo does have the better line here. It's gone from about 8 meters to 23 meters. So Inigo can take advantage of this if he chooses to do so. It won't necessarily help him catch Flo, but it will keep him ahead of fourth place, which is almost 28 meters back.
One thing I will say is they're definitely making less mistakes at the moment than Division 1, and that's, I think, because of less risky driving. but they're
Oh yeah.
basically running fairly smooth. Flo has passed Nico on pure pace. And has Nico made a mistake since? I don't think so. It's just
No.
been Flo driving faster. Still with a 36.0 best lap though. And I guess consistency versus pace is also an important question when it comes to Division 1 versus Division 3. Because they are not running at that high of a risk, and as such, they are running a second slower, like as I've said before. And still, Zyno's best lap is more than a second behind the final best lap of the Division 1 race. And in fact, Flo is gonna be catching lap traffic, so the field I think is also a bit more spread out. Although it might just be because they're running very quietly at the moment. There's not much fighting going on. Everybody's just...
Well, you mentioned it, but we did actually have a wreck by Kabajis on the way to the escalator. He seemed to have tipped the corner, and William Adama now has a 30-meter advantage on him. And furthermore, it looked like William did have the better line, at least in that shortcut area. Neither of them taking the shortcut, but William seems to caught the ideal line more so than Kabajis. So this was a bit expected, but not in the fashion that it happened. Kabajis unfortunately wrecking again. Now that should be a bit delayed. What I'm saying and what y'all are seeing. But yeah, in the meantime, Flo and Inigo still have a 30-meter gap. Also, Inigo now 70 meters ahead of Almo. So Almo has reached a bit of an island. William has reached a bit of an island. And Kabajis has reached a bit of an island. Jeromu in 7th has moved up in the ranks from 10th earlier, but has been doing so at a slow-ish pace. I'd project that he could pass up a couple more this way, but he's going to need more time to do it than he currently has if he wants to get really far. So for the gaps, they are accurate as long as you're not looking at Riles or Inigo. Every other gap is going to be accurate. So
Not
while
a
you're
lot, because Riles has been removed from the standings. So
there we go.
yeah, the gaps are fairly spread out at the moment, but some of them are one mistake away from each other. I see the chat, and this is being played on PC. I'm pretty sure everyone plays on PC. And Kabajis makes another mistake. I'll have to leave that monologue right there. Because Kabajis falls back another spot. He did the same a few laps ago, right? Where he was passed by William. And now Jeromu will be up to 7th. Oh, and Kabajis is sliding around in this section as well. He doesn't have the groove at the moment. He can't find his rhythm.
That's what I was worried about when he was battling with William Adama. Now, since then, Jeromu has moved into 6th place. He is 150 meters away from William, but he has claimed his next victim, which is important to say. Inigo seems to have wrecked. Almo approaching.
Tova
there's
getting
lap
lapped.
traffic.
Tova getting lapped. Roddy getting lapped. There's lots of cars here. I wonder if Inigo got a bit of a taste of that.
Definitely possible, and it is now going to be a 3-line of cars. Roddick, Inigo, Almo. Roddick has teleported around Inigo. He's tapping him up and down. He lets him by, as he should. Please, Roddick. Now it is a Roddick sandwich. We'll see how this plays out. Almo getting caught up on his fender a little bit, at least from my point of view. Oh man.
Remember, there is a rule about letting lapping cars by. So Roddick has to be careful with this if he doesn't want to be penalized. But also, he seems to have the pace at the moment.
It's
He's
quite
catching
similar.
Inigo.
Yeah.
He's just made many mistakes and he's a lap down, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and he makes another one. Olmo could go by. Olmo gets crashed by the
Okay.
rejoining
Great.
car.
Thanks, Roddick. Thank you. So there goes our third and fourth place battle. Really not what you should be doing, but is the way that it goes. And with that battle concluded, we've got at minimum of 50 meters between every single car here. And now this is where you can start to feel a bit comfortable, and then you make a wreck, and then you lose it all. That doesn't seem to be the case for Zyno at all.
Yeah.
430 meters ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna mention a few laps ago, but then some action happened. So, Zyno has already left everyone up until Olmo, who is in position 4. So, he's about, he's less than 200 meters from lapping the whole field, and we're not even halfway through. He's very dominant. The only one who had a chance of catching him in this race, I feel, is unfortunately Rails. They do a fastest lap as a final send-off.
Right. Yeah, unfortunate that Riles did have some connection issues in that endurance race. It is 80 laps, so the internets are being tested today. In the meantime, William, I feel like William, he might not have moved up. He's definitely moved up since the race began. Early on, he was in like 8th place, give or take, maybe one position, maybe 9th, maybe 7th, but around 8th, he has moved his way up the hard way too, by just better driving, and is currently sitting in 5th place. Almo has lost a bit more distance on him. We saw the number in the bottom left turn orange for just a second there. So it does seem that William could be approaching 4th. In the meantime, Jeromu was once 150 meters behind William, and now he's about 125. So we could see 10th place Jeromu, who has made his way up to 6th by now, could claim a couple more positions, maybe 2 by the end of this race.
Yeah, and since we have a bit of time to talk, but it's still related to this race, it's about the race we had in Division 1. So Frost was 200 meters ahead of G and Nikon. And remember, he almost got caught on the final lap. I was thinking maybe he went for fastest laps, or maybe he didn't care that much because he was still finishing 2nd. But that was very much genuine pace for him. We just weren't paying enough attention, and slowly but surely Nick and G caught Frost. And this could be happening here as well, is the reason I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Because someone might have the pace at the moment, but this has been 22 minutes and their fingers are going to be on the keyboard or on the controller for 20 more.
Can we show Zyno for a second? Like, can we just watch him race for a bit? I feel like, I mean, he's almost got a 500 meter advantage over the rest of the field. We're not even at the halfway point, although we are pretty much there. And yeah, we just watch him for one lap while, unless something crazy starts happening. We do have, you know, Almo, William, Jeromu on the mind. Inigo just got a best lap. But yeah, Zyno, he has been performing out of this league, out of this division for sure. Head and shoulders above the rest in this endurance race. We'll see if he's able to hold on to it, like you mentioned.
He's now honking a bit. I wonder if he's hearing the coverage. Or he's just honking for fun, regardless of that. I'm gonna be checking the results of that endurance we had in Division 1. He crossed the line at about 23:52 to hit the halfway point. Honestly, he's almost at Wurzel's pace, I think. In fact, he might be beating Wurzel at this rate. We, they're not gonna be compared in the end results, but if we compare them, he might have a better finishing time than Wurzel did.
Mm. Now, in the meantime, it does look like we have a potential battle unfolding in front of our eyes between Almo and William Adama. Jerome has fallen back a bit, it seems, 160 meters, give or take, behind William. But William has caught Almo and is looking for the overtake. I've had this on my mind since we started talking about Zyno. I've been looking over at the distance that William has had, and this number has been shrinking pretty rapidly. So I don't know. It didn't seem to just be like a major wreck. I think Almo feels the pressure increasingly as William has gotten closer and closer, and it's about to break. We'll see. It could go either way. It's easy to catch someone. It's another thing to actually pass them, dealing with the logistics of that. So we'll see how it ultimately plays out.
Yeah, he is getting closer though. He definitely seems faster. I don't think it was mistakes by Olmo that got him here. It looked like he was gradually gaining and gaining, and now he's there.
Important to note also, Almo close to Inigo, under 30 meters as well. So this is a three-way battle that's starting to develop again. William could see himself in the podium in just a matter of a couple of laps, which is a huge change from the way this race started out for him. Has been a lot of consistency that has got him to this point. We see it on display once again through that shortcut area. None of them taking the shortcut, but Williams seems to be taking a shortcut.
Tom the ahead of them in that red car, crashing out at that. I think he was going for that wall ride, but he doesn't seem to be having a great day today. He's quite a bit behind. He's still ahead of Roddick and Tova, but he's definitely had better performances throughout this league. But let's focus on this trio because Inigo is also getting closer. I mean, Olma and William are getting closer to Inigo.
Right. It seems like Inigo has lost a lot of pace here. Tova letting everyone by. Thank you so much, Tova. But it looks like William has been catching Almo, but also William and Almo have both been catching Inigo. So this could be a heartbreaking moment for Inigo if he can't find some corrections immediately.
And none of them will be going for the cut again. It could be interesting to see if they go for the cut in the final lap.
William, a bit messy on that turn specifically, has been really putting on a show at that area. But that lap, not so much. We are on lap 46 of 80.
Yeah, so I did say final lap. I was gonna say final laps rather. Because we have seen Erzu take the cut only in the final lap. And I mean, this is a different division, but they still probably know how to do that. And if they are in a situation of crisis where they're 3 meters behind someone else and their only chance of overtake in the final lap or in the final 3 laps is going through that cut, I mean, I believe they will do it. If they don't, I mean... But Olmo, at the moment, is getting closer to Inigo. So let's get over hypotheticals for now, and let's look at the action between the two of them.
It's really died down. Like, I mean, there was so much change, and it seemed to have stopped. But Almo and Inigo are now so close.
It's very gradual. They're going very steady. They are very consistent, and Olmo seems a bit faster. Inigo might have seen Olmo while looking behind, And so, oh wow, now I need to start pushing.
Yeah.
He got scared and he might have increased his pace like that, but Olmo is right there, and William as well, right behind. Oh, Inigo gonna be hitting that wall on the right, I think. At least it looked like me like that. It also looked like he hit the inside wall there, and he is gonna be going wide a bit here. Olmo is gaining a bit. Can he be going past here? No, he's not gonna have a good exit into the conveyor belt. But again, he's very close on Inigo's rear bumper. Oh, they touched and Olmo got slowed down by the now. William could have the opportunity here, but Olmo also has one, and he goes by Inigo.
He's gonna have to lock it down. It's not a full pass yet, although yeah, there's the clear. Kabai's just barely dodging them. Almo needs to hold on to that third place. Inigo trying to take it. Almo didn't want to wreck Inigo. William getting into the mix as well. Kabai's pushing back up, man.
He's not at the right place here. Oh, he's trying. I don't know if he's trying to stay behind. He should be doing that, but oh, William is gonna be heading too fast into the U-turn and hitting the back of Inigo. That could be an issue when you have different lines, and it's not intentional at all. You just William had a better entrance, a way faster one, and Inigo was focusing on the exit perhaps, or he just had a bad turn, and William had nowhere to go at that point, and hitting Inigo resulted in William spinning.
That's something that I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that we've seen it a lot, but we saw Olmo being so delicate with how he was trying to pass Inigo. He was like nudging him, but he wasn't like okay, I'm gonna pass now, because Inigo was really trying to hold on. Now eventually he did do that, but it was in a straightaway. It was at the end of that U-turn, whereas William ran into the bumper in the middle of the turn, and it caused him to spin out. So William has somewhat begun work on closing this gap, we could say. Inigo almost not gotten out of sight of Inigo yet, but it's definitely died down. Inigo with a wreck, William passing.
Oh wow, so that's all. Right, Inigo was ahead of both the others in that fight, so that means Inigo has lost both spots. But William is gonna be crashing into Roddick, I think, ahead.
The one, the only.
Yeah, so that's gonna be unfortunate. I don't know if Roddick was crashing already or what exactly happened. It looked like Roddick was, because I couldn't see him. Oh, because I couldn't see him before that.
Yeah. Now William has gotten around him, not quite in the red against Olmo yet. Only about 42 meters, 54 laps completed out of 80, so definitely has time to close 40
You go
meters.
with another crash.
Ooh.
He was going, not intentionally probably, for Famous's line, and that's a cruel one because it can flip you if you don't do it well enough. Even if you do it intentionally, it's hard to calculate. It's mostly done by pure chance, unless you're really trying hard to get it. And William now is back on Kabaizush, who, ironically, I think ran his personal best in the lap when William crashed ahead of him.
Huh.
Oh, and he is not letting William by. The biggest fights we are seeing at the moment are between lead left cars and left cars.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got Olmo, William, and Inigo still pretty much our closest battle. Also, Maddie and Kabaizush is a thing. There are 50 meters between the two of them. It's a battle for 7th. It's been pretty stable as far as I can tell. But actually, I say that, and I believe Kabaizush was actually quite a bit further behind Maddie. that little minor wreck not going to be doing him any favors.
Yeah, he's been doing decent, I think. But also, I said lead lap card, but the only card on the lead lap at this point is Zyno. So
Absolutely.
let me correct that to one lap
Right.
down cards versus two lap down cards.
There we go.
And Zyno, I believe, also set a new fastest lap with a 35.3. So he
Yep.
also looks to be getting the bonus point, although that's the easiest one to take away from far back. And
True.
it's Tomdom in second for that, so at this point, if you're in 8th, do you go for the best lap, rather?
Oh yeah, you do. You've got the shortcut. I mean, all you have to do is nail that shortcut one time, and you got Zyno beat. If you got a decent line, because Zyno has not risked it once on the shortcut, I don't believe. So I definitely go for it if I was back there. Now there's a battle for third, William and Almo. Unsurprisingly, it does continue. William has been catching many a racer in this event, and he's got his eyes set on that podium. Jeromu also in 6th place. He is 65 meters behind Inigo, and then an additional 42 behind William. So he could absolutely find a podium. I said that incorrectly.